The western terminus of the Ouachita Trail. Hey you guys, it's your girl Charlie and I am out on the Ouachita Trail. Oh my gosh, it feels so good to be out here. It's around 1:30 p.m. I'm just now starting at the western terminus at Talamina State Park in Oklahoma. And my car is parked at Queen Wilhelmina State Park, and I will get off there for a couple days for Christmas. The Ouachita Trail is 223 miles. Starts at the western terminus in Talamina State Park in Oklahoma, and it runs all the way to Pinnacle State Park in Little Rock, Arkansas. Most of the trail is in Arkansas. Full disclosure here, you guys. I had the intention of attempting a through hike of the Ouachita Trail. I parked my car at mile marker 51.6 at Queen Wilhelmina State Park, and I was just going to walk back to my car, get off a couple days for Christmas, and from there assess the situation, see how I felt, and more than likely get back on trail. Unfortunately, that is not what happened. I ended my hike at mile marker 23.8, according to Far Out, at the Winding Stair campground. Here on day one, I was excited, but I was having to rush through the miles just to make it to camp before dark. Stay tuned till the end of this video, and I will go over all of the big mistakes that I made on this backpacking trip. At about 1.2 to a small little tent site, Far Out says. Close to Bohannon Creek. Got a little fire going. The tent's right there. I made it around 7.2 miles today to a little campsite. Feels really nice out here. And I should have a nice quiet night. Good morning, you guys. I am here at Dead Man's Gap. I had a water cache here. Stopped, filled up my water bottles, made some coffee. It's very, very windy. And I'm heading on. Last night was so windy at camp, but it was still nice. Finally made it to the first shelter on the Ouachita Trail. This is Rock Garden Shelter. Starting to get hot. So there's one thing about the Ouachita Trail. It is extremely rocky. And in between Rock Garden Shelter and the next shelter, Holston Valley Shelter, is the rockiest part of the entire trail. You basically are walking through what they call rock gardens and rock glaciers. And I have to put in some miles today, so taking some things off, changing a little bit, and then I'll be on the way. This section, you get some slow miles because you have rocks and the leaves hide the rocks. I've already slipped and fell. But then in between the rock gardens and the rock glaciers, you do have pretty nice trail. But it is slippery through here with these leaves on top of the rocks. Made it to campsite, and I'm gonna sit and take a much needed lunch break. I'm exhausted. I don't know if I've been so excited to ever see a shelter in my life. Whew. The trail kicked my butt today, and I was completely humbled by the Ouachita Trail. Whew, thank goodness I'm here. You guys, it is only 3:45. My original plan was to make it all the way to Winding Stair Campground. And right now, I'm at 16.8 at Holston Valley Shelter. Winding Stair Campground is 23.8. There's no way I would make that from here. And there's no way that I'm going to try. Today was tough. But I am going to show you some of my gear and set up in the shelter. I went ahead and put the footprint of my tent down, and then I'm going to put my sleeping pad on this. All right, I got my Nemo Disco 15-degree bag. And most of y'all would be like, Charlie, you don't need a 15-degree bag out here. It's only going to be in the 40s. I need a 15-degree bag. For one, I sleep really cold. And I've washed this thing a couple times incorrectly. And it's also a bigger sleeping bag. So last night I used a Sea to Summit liner and it helped extremely well. I was so warm last night. So we're going to try that again tonight. And then I've got my Nemo Philo Elite. And this is going to be the setup for tonight. I just collected lots of firewood. This is one of the reasons why my trail name is Paula Bunyan. And I expect to have a nice fire tonight. Got an incredible view of Holson Valley. And in the morning, we should have a beautiful sunrise. Gonna have some mashed potatoes tonight. Alright, you guys, forget what I said about sleeping in the shelter. Well, I am technically sleeping in the shelter, but I put my tent up. I know it's a big no-no, but I know most of y'all have done it. I am more than likely the only person here tonight. And if somebody does come, well, they got plenty of room over there. So, this is what we're doing tonight. Now it's time for a fire. Good morning, you guys. Day 3. Not much of a sunrise this morning, just cloudy. But I'm heading out. I've got 7 miles to Winding Stair Campground. I have a water cache there. And I'm trying to go as far as I can today. I don't have a lot of battery left on my battery pack. And my headlamp already went out. So, this should be interesting. Back to the rocks. Yesterday, pretty much a dead man's gap all the way to Holson Valley Shelter. It was solid rocks. This trail is just super rocky. Oh, you guys, I'm so exhausted. I don't think I've drank enough water, eaten enough food. My battery pack's almost out. I'm out of tissue. And my hips are barely letting me get up these mountains. My car's parked at Queen Wilhelmina, but I'm done. I'm going to try to get a ride from Winding Stair. That is it, you guys. That is all I videoed for that last day. And that really tells you how exhausted I really was. I'm going to go over some of the mistakes that I made on this backpacking trip. Hopefully you can learn from my mistakes. I would not call myself a beginner backpacker. I've been doing it for a few years, but I have been making some beginner backpacking mistakes. So let's go over them. First mistake, and one of the biggest ones that I made, is I did not eat enough calories on this trip. Kitty. Now I know that you saw several shots of me eating, but that's really all I had. So one day my watch said that I had burned over 3,600 calories. And I probably only put in 1,000 calories that day. And I had no energy. By the third day, getting to Winding Stair Campground, it was just step by step. And I just kept telling myself, just make another step, Charlie. Do another step. You're almost there. That's how tired I was. And I've never been like that on any backpacking trip. I also did not drink enough water on this trail. I did cache some water, and I really should have slowed down, taken a longer break at that water cache. A lot of the water sources had water, and I didn't expect them to. So every time I got to a water source, my bottles were full. What I should have done was stopped, cameled up, means pretty much drink as much water as you can, had a break there, had a snack, and filtered more water. That way I could have slowed down, given my body more time to rest and recuperate with water and calories. So talking about burning calories, those are some really hard miles on the section 1 of the Ouachita Trail. And I was burning a lot of calories, like I said, not putting enough in my body with food. But what I would also do, being Paula Bunyan and being out there by myself, is I would hike 9 miles and then put up my tent, do all the chores that you do after you get to camp. But then I would still go out and burn so much energy and calories collecting firewood. I do that often, and I should have really just taken that time, because I had a lot of time once I got to camp to just chill, get off my feet. I should have laid on my sleeping pad for a while and just really rested my body more. Another mistake that I made is that I did not restrict any of my electronic use. Therefore, my battery bank, I had already used half of it by the morning of day 3. I would listen to YouTube all night because I did not want to hear all of those little critter noises and all the little noises going on in the woods, especially me being there by myself. I already don't sleep well anyways. And out in the woods by myself, I'm not getting a lot of sleep. So I like to listen to my phone. And I would use all of the battery pack. And I had a 20,000 battery pack. So I really need to be smart and restrict my usage on my electronics. Something else I didn't do, which is such a rookie mistake, I did not charge my headlamp. I figured that the last time I had my headlamp, I barely used it, so it should be okay this time. What happened? Second night in my tent, I'm in the tent and out goes my light. So what do I have to use? My light on my phone, which just takes some more battery, which makes me have to use my battery pack even more to charge it up. And it was dark out there in the woods, you guys. So even that morning, packing up in the dark, I had to use the light of my phone, and that's not the easiest thing to do. Another mistake I made, I had kind of had an itinerary for the first few days, and I had really underestimated how hard these miles were, even though I've done these miles before. And I started the trail a little bit later than I thought I would. So I was in a hurry. And I do that often. And when I get in a hurry, that's when I don't stop for breaks and have snacks or have enough water. So I really needed to slow down. I had no reason to be in a hurry for anything. So many mistakes were made on this backpacking trip, but I will say overall, the one thing that I did not do was listen to my body. I know I hike and backpack a lot and I'm outside in the woods, but I have got to listen to my body. I have to realize, and believe me, I realize this, I have to remember that I'm 41 years old. And if I need to take it slow, I need to take it slow, and that is okay. So I only made it through section 1 of this trip. You guys, not a big deal. Like I said in the beginning of this video, my car was parked at Queen Wilhelmina State Park, and I was going to go back home for Christmas and assess there and see if I even wanted to finish the trail. So maybe in the future you will see some more sections of me on the Ouachita Trail. I will say that I am mad at one thing, is that I should be on the Foothills Trail right now in South Carolina. That's a trail that I've really wanted to do, and since it was so far away, I just talked myself into doing the Ouachita Trail. And that was also a mistake that I did. Listen to my gut and just get out there. Put yourself out there more. I figured the Ouachita Trail was closer to home and it would be easier. Well, it definitely was not. So the big question is, could I have finished this backpacking trip and not stopped at Winding Stairs and kept on going? Probably so. I mean, my feet were okay. I didn't have blisters. My body was so tired though. I could have stopped at Winding Stairs. I had a water cache there. Could have cameled up on water. Could have eaten a lot of food and then just worried about making it up to the shelter that night. The climb up, or the next climb, was pretty tough, but the consequences of doing all that, for one, I probably would have had major Charlie horses that night in my tent because I'd already had a couple the night before. For two, I had nothing to prove to anybody. As long as I'm happy, I'm good. And I only live about an hour and a half from the trail. I can go back to the Ouachita Trail anytime I want to. Thank you so much to Mary. I was able to get on the official Ouachita Trail Facebook page and was able to quickly find a ride. So, I mean, had a good time, had a hard time, and definitely learned some lessons on this backpacking trip. All right, you guys, so those were some of the mistakes I made on this backpacking trip of the Ouachita Trail. Hopefully you can learn from these. It is easy to make mistakes, you guys. If y'all watch my videos, I make a mistake on every video. And my channel is real, so I'm not afraid to put myself out there, tell you the things I did wrong, let you know that I was planning on doing a through hike and only did section 1. I mean, that's just me, you guys. You never know. In a few days, I'll probably be out on the Ouachita Trail again. Like always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.